It will be handled by Dr. Shirin Jaffer, Department of CSE, School of Engineering Sciences and Technology, Jamia Hamdard. I consider it a great honor to introduce our resource person, Dr. Shirin Jaffer. She holds a PhD in Computer Engineering Technologies from Manwa Rachna International University, Faridabad. She has over 14 years of teaching experience and she currently works as an assistant professor in CSE department at Jamia Hamdard. She is an experienced professional with a demonstrated history of working in the education management industry. She is the editorial member, reviewer, and TPC member of 49 journals and international conferences. She has reviewed more than 100 papers in various journals. She has received the Certificate of Appreciation in Teaching from Honorable Uma Shankar Gupta, Education Minister, Madhya Pradesh in the year 2015. I thank her for providing her gracious presence to join us today. Now, I request our resource person, Dr. Shirin Jaffer, to take over the session. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. A very good morning to everybody. Is my voice all audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I'm just sharing my screen. So let me check that it's going fine. So my screen is all visible to every participant?
Yes, ma'am. It's visible, ma'am.
Okay, so I have just muted my, no, I have just not started my video because it may take more bandwidth. So maybe during the interaction time, during the question answer session, I'll be starting my video also. Okay, because due to some internet and bandwidth issue, maybe that video starting may take more bandwidth. Fine. Okay, so a very good morning to all of you. Do it now or sometimes later will become never. Firstly, I would like to thank the chairman, principal, vice president, management, staff, and all the organizing team, also Anand sir, and the lovely audience who are part of this FDP. The thing is that big data, machine learning, deep learning, are all the game changers in this COVID-19 scenario. We need to think upon that technology will be the most important tool in order to overcome this pandemic. And in a scenario, we as technical people, we as people connected to the society will need to do our part so that this technology can overcome the various situations that are arising in this world. So now the thing arises that what is big data and how did big data became so much important? Because 10 years before, we were just doing work on small data. Small data means we were working on SQL, but suddenly a wave came and that wave was big data. Let's see a video that specifies the importance of big data.
What is big data? With the spike in internet usage and other technologies such as IoT devices, mobile phones, autonomous devices like robotics, drones, vehicles, appliances, the volume of generated data is growing exponentially at an unprecedented rate. This constant increase in the amount of data generated has led to the emergence of big data. So, what is big data? Let's keep it simple. Big data refers to a collection of data that is so huge and complex that none of the traditional data management tools are able to store it or process it efficiently. Now, you know that big data involves lots of data, but have you ever stopped to think about just how big is big data? According to Forbes, there are 2.5 quintillion bytes of data created every day.
See how much big is big data.
How big data tools manage to handle such a huge amount of data? When Netflix offers you personalized recommendations from its library of thousands of movies and TV shows, that's big data at work. Big data helps Netflix determine which programs may be of interest to you, and the recommendation systems actually influences 80% of the content we watch on Netflix. In the near future, with the growing increase in the volume of data, big data will grow bigger and the demand for data management experts will shoot up. The gap between the demand for data professionals and their availability will widen. This will help
big data will grow bigger.
Higher salaries.
So we require data scientists and data analysts.
The world of big data and towards a brighter future. Start learning this trending technology using Edureka's expertly.
So why are you waiting for? Start learning the technology. Usually in my every webinar and my FDP, I require my audience to be connected. So let's see if the audience is connected with me or not. Let's have a rapid fire. See how much you know about big data. Question number 1, let's have a rapid fire. As companies move past the experimental phase with Hadoop, many cite the need for additional capabilities, including, can I have the answers? Let's see how this audience is connected to us. Can we have some answers?
Ma'am, option A, ma'am.
Yes.
Option A, ma'am.
Right. You can write in the chat box also. As companies move past the, because I'll be getting some names. Let's have some names and the organizers will be happy. Many cite the need for additional capabilities, including, so we don't require for security, workload management, and SQL support. We require additional capabilities. Actually, the thing is that Hadoop already provides data storage and information retrieval. The thing is that the additional work that we require, and that additional work is security, workload management, and SQL support. Okay. So let's go for the second one. Point out the correct statement. Can we have the correct statement pointed out? Question number 2, everybody. Can we have some answers?
Option C.
It's not C. It's not C.
A, ma'am.
Yes, it's A. Yes, it's A. Hadoop do need specialized hardware to process. No. Sorry, its answer is B. For Hadoop 2.0 allows live streaming processing of real-time data. It's B. Hadoop 2.0. Now, see, let's go to the next one. Let's have some more. Question number 3, according to analysts, for what can traditional IT system provide a foundation when they are integrated with big data technologies like Hadoop? Question number 3, who is giving the answer?
Answer C, ma'am.
Answer is, question number 3, answer is?
C, ma'am. Answer C.
Any more answers?
Answer C, ma'am.
According, just read it again. Just read it again. According to analysts, for what can traditional IT systems provide a foundation when they are integrated with traditional? We are talking about traditional. Just again think. We are talking about traditional.
Big data management and data mining.
Yes, it's A. It's correct. Who gave the answer? Ma'am, can we have your name, please?
Prakasa, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Yes, it's correct because we are talking about traditional. So when we are comparing Hadoop or when we are comparing the analyst, this is the newest one. The traditional were big data management and data mining. Let's have question number 4. Facebook tackles big data with dash based on Hadoop. Anybody has this answer?
Project of big.
No.
Based on the project. Based on the project of data, ma'am. You are getting the more information.
No. Project Prism. Facebook is using.
Answer A, ma'am.
Yes, it's answer A. Okay, so audience, now the last one. All of the following accurately describe Hadoop except last one.
C, ma'am.
Anybody for the last term?
C.
No, it's not C. Again, think.
Open source, ma'am.
No. It's if you have the Apache license, it can be open source also.
D answer.
No,
B.
Hadoop is distributed. Hadoop is distributed real time. When we
Oh,
got the 2.0,
B. B.
it's B real time. Okay, chalo, let's finish this and let's go back to the learning environment. I think this audience was very much connected, and let's go back to the learning environment. Now, uh, uh, let's start with how this big data came into the picture. The big data came into the picture when we had a comparison between small data versus big data. So when we compared small data, we had low volumes, low velocities, structured varieties, and this, when compared to the big data, the volume, the velocity, the multi-structure variety is huge. So when we are talking about anything huge, we require a huge environment, and that huge environment is provided us from big data. Now the big data came into the picture in 1990s, although it's exactly not known that who was the first used term for big data. The credit goes to John R. Massey, who at the time worked at the Silicon Graphics for making the term popular. The thing is that in the last 2 decades, the total amount of data that we have created was 4.4 zettabytes in 2013. Now we specifies
ma'am,
that this is,
ma'am, I have one question, ma'am.
yes, sir.
We have a large data that may be analyzed computationally to relevant patterns, trends. That's only you're telling.
Sir, actually, I am just giving you a brief specification
Okay,
of,
ma'am.
yes, this is just a
Carry
starting
on.
of big data. Now we'll be specifying how does big data has been converted to analytics, business intelligence, that we'll be moving forward and giving you a rise. This is the term big data. Fine, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let's move this journey. You will be getting so many answers according in this journey. Okay, so the thing is that to put in perspective, 44 zettabytes is equivalent to 44 trillion gigabytes. So when we specify, they require the need to process these increasingly larger and especially unstructured data is how traditional analysis transformed into the big data into the last decade. Okay, so that's why we are talking about now not small data, we are talking about the big data. Now when we talk about big data, in order to understand the contents of big data, it is very important to specify the phases of big data, because when we say analysis, analytics, business intelligence, they are all coming from the phases of the big data. Let's see phase number 1.0. The phase number 1.0 was the phase of data analysis. It relies heavily on
Ma'am, could you
storage.
please give some examples so that we can understand?
Yes, sir, examples are coming. Have little patience, examples are coming. Let me explain, then the examples are also coming. As I told you, this is a journey. Journey requires 1 or 2 explanation, then the examples are in their way. Okay, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Let's explore this journey, and all examples, everything is on the way. Okay. So when we talk about the big data phase 1.0, the phase 1.0 was the specification that dealt with the relational database management system. Database management and data warehousing are considered to be the core components of big data phase 1.0. Then came the big data phase 2.0 that started in 2000, where the internet and web began. This internet and web gave us huge amount of data. With the expansion of web traffic and online storage, there opened new possibilities. Now we move from analysis to analytics. And from the big data point of view, HTTP based traffic, web based traffic introduced a huge amount of semi-structured as well as unstructured data. So when we talk about the coming of the social media, when we talk about the coming of various tools and technologies, then came the phase 2.0, which was dealing with data analytics. Then came your big data 3.0. When we talk about big data 3.0, the web contents now specifies in terms of more analysis of the behavioral contents, like simple clicks, like a specification of a location based GPS data. Like with the advancement of the mobile devices, we need to track movement. All this was the phase of 3.0, in which we had the specification of analysis of the physical behavior. Then we have the whole opportunities in terms of transportation. We were using it in terms of designing, in terms of smart city, in terms of healthcare, even the IoT. Now, when we talk about any kind of a smart city, and when we talk about IoT, Internet of Things, it is using the data which is coming from the phase 3.0, because here we are more of consideration of the concept of analytics, and analytics that too built into the picture of what is called as generating behavior and analysis in terms of clicks, in terms of queries being answered. So when we talk about your Google now is transformed the research and transformed the search in terms of more specific analysis, and that specific analysis is specified by the concept of the big data phase 3.0. See this, we have three phases. Now, if we talk about the first phase was in 1970 to 2000, where we were still in the phase of analysis. And that analysis was the specification in 1970 to 2000. Then came the history with 2000 to 2010, where we had more of web-based content. Then came the concept of opinion mining, web analytics, then came your social media analysis. Now, when we're talking about the period 2010 and present, we are more of human-computer interaction. We are more of mobile visualization. We are more into the concept of location-based analysis. And in this COVID-19 scenario, I can tell you 11 startups of India have been built, and they are developing those startups based on the specifications of the big data phase 3.0, where the data is being provided in a very refined manner, and that refining is done by various types of visualization tools. In my further journey, I'll be giving you the most specific visualization tools that will be helpful in. And when we talk about Tableau is the most foremost used visualization tool, and it has developed a COVID-19 tracer also, and that tracer is the tracer which has the most relevant information, and that relevant information is coming from a very authorized source. I think some questions are there. We'll check on that. Okay, no. So I'll be answering all your questions and all your queries maybe after this session ends. Then came the specification that how the big data interest came. Now, the big data interest is the specification where we require the concept of how to save our time, how to use big data for handling our daily routine tasks. So when we were talking about making a program, making a smart device, we have the concept of specification of machine learning using the concept of big data. We, as I'll give you an example, there was a startup in Telangana which built a COVID-19 tool for tracking out the specific difference between the X-ray of a COVID-19 patient and an X-ray of a person who had normal X-ray. The thing was that since they didn't use a correct informative source, and since they didn't get the correct big data analytics being done, their startup was a failure, because the X-ray was not able to differentiate between a person who had corona and a person who didn't have corona. So any kind of a machine learning model cannot be fully complete unless and until you have the correct data refinement analytics being done into it. So when you talk about the basic information is that big data helps us to save time. And now in this COVID-19 pandemic, number of work has been done in order to help the government to analyze and also to save information. Then when we talk about the analysis of the social media, this is also done with the help of big data. We have seen that in number of elections also, people see the trends of the electoral voters through the social media platforms. They bring the analytics into the picture, and many of the elections also we have heard that they have been captured through this. So what is happening? Big data has also captured the concept of social media analytics. Then we go to the concept of how to reduce the cost for your business. This is done by a concept very traditionally used, but now very effectively utilized, which is called as business intelligence. From the specification of analysis to analytics, now we have gone to business intelligence. For example, nowadays when you buy something from Amazon, and if you are just searching also, you will get so many things and so many offers, and you get so many continuous provoking messages that buy this, now this is an offer. How this is being done? This is the real specification of business intelligence being applied into the concept of big data. So the business is growing at a very fast rate, and they are getting not only direct feedback from the customer, but just a customer search is also help them to build their business scenario. Now, the thing is that analytics is playing a very important role. I'll give you an example. The COVID-19 pandemic in 30th December 2019 was information was spread. Now this is a pandemic. Now this is the work of the analytics. So you are providing a road to predictive and prescriptive and descriptive analytics. How it is being done? This is being done by analyzing the huge volume variety of the data, and this is being specified that when you are working on the core concept of the big data, you are able to extract trends. That's very important. We say that this pandemic is when we mutative. So when COVID-19 is mutative, that means every day, every second, there are some changes. So data analytics and data science engineers and scientists are working very efficiently in order to track the various trends, the various issues that are coming with the pandemic situation. Now, when we talk about machine learning, I told you that the artificial intelligence, machine learning, and deep learning are a roadmap. And when we talk about the roadmap, nowadays, each and everything is related with it. When we talk about a Siri, when we talk about a smart home, when we talk about your mobile phone, it is all embedded with the concept of machine learning and artificial intelligence. And the basis of all these is big data. If you don't get a good big data analytics being done, then any kind of a model, machine learning model or deep learning model will be a failure. They have given an example that lettuce farming. In the lettuce farming, in order to help the farmers to automate it, there was a work being done in order to specify where there was an IoT device being connected. The farmers were helped in terms of their soil being specified, the correct water specification. So there is a combination of each and everything, but the information is coming from big data analytics. Now, when we started learning, we had three V's of big data. We had 4 V's of big data. No, now this picture has totally been changed. We have now 8 V's of big data. See, the first V was volume. So this is the huge information that we are looking for. Last 15 years, when I was doing my engineering, we had a Google with limited amount of content. But now we say that if I want to make a project better, if I want to do analytics better, I want some specific refined information from Google. So that means volume, value is that can you find it most when we need it. So the thing is that when you are searching something, when you are putting a query, if you are getting an answer, that's the concept of value. Veracity, are you dealing with information or disinformation? Very important. I told you the Telangana startup was a failure because they were not able to distinguish between the correct and the non-correct information. So thing is that veracity need to be tackled. Then Then very important, because our sessions of today are related with visualization. So visualization is a very, very important portion of big data, because can you make sense at a glance? That is very important. Why to wait? Why to get a huge amount of data and we cannot get a picture? So the thing is that just seeing a small picture, just seeing a small glance, I'll be showing you in the subsequent sessions that in Tableau how can just a click can help to make you get the picture in a glance. So that's a very important specification. Then we have a variety. In a picture worth of 1,000 words in 70 languages, is your information balanced? Very important that the information that you are carrying is balanced or not. Then we have the velocity. Then we have the viscosity. This is a new specification added in the big data. What does viscosity says? Does it stick with you? Does it call for action? Very important that when we talk about SQL, we have the concept of trigger. So that is the trigger. When you require that trigger, when you require that action to be taken upon, unnecessary actions being taken will not serve your model building in an efficient manner. Then the other, which a very newest term, is the virality. Virality specify, does it convey a message that can be pasted into a presentation or Instagram? Very important. This term is now become the basis of the social media platform, virality. Virality means we are nowadays into the concept of so many fake news. So we need to understand that whether it is carrying some good information, whether it can be pasted, whether it can be landed into a social media platform or not. So these all V's of big data are very important specification whenever you are doing any kind of model building. Now we have so many research problems that are being addressed by big data. Those research problems, when we go for parallel processing, when we go for real-time video analytics, when we go for graph processing, any fake news, as I told you, virality, how to distinguish between a fake news and a news which is being correct. Then we have so many specification with dealing with anomaly detection. And now in terms of COVID-19 pandemic, so many analysis is being done by using big data. When we talk about lightweight big data analytics, when we talk about neural machine translation, because as I told you, the journey of the big data was from, the journey of artificial intelligence was AI. Then when we had the AI into ML and then to DL. So deep learning is using the concept of neural networks. It is a lot of neural network analysis being done. So when we talk about this specification, then chatbot building, chatbot frameworks being developed. So you can specify that this is a huge research initiatives that are being provided. And when we need to work upon big data and big data analytics, we can track out all these research initiatives. Then please check that there are some of the top research centers which are giving lot of huge amount of data, and that data is very much reliable. So you can simply mail to them and you will get so many good answers because they respond very frequently. So we have the Doctoral Research Center Data Science in United Kingdom. We have the Facebook Data Science Research. They are doing huge amount of very good work on big data and data science. We have the data Carnegie Mellon University, USA. One of my student, when working on big data, got the database from Carnegie Mellon University. You can mail them, you can give them your project, what are you doing, and they give you data. And that data is very reliable, and that data is a very refined data, and you can trust upon that data. That's very important. Now the thing is that Institute for Machine Learning in Switzerland is also providing very effective data. So what you can do, you can just search for them, get their mail IDs, and get a very refined data, very reliable data from them. Then we have the specification. This is the basic understanding of the big data versus analytics versus intelligence. We are in this picture only because we need to specify that what is the basic difference between all these things. So let's see how this interesting video provides you a difference between all these things. Draw conclusion, that is very important. Solving problems, that is very important. Building machine learning models by using refined data. This is very important. Create data reports for predictive analysis. See where we are using them: retail, communication, healthcare, IT, travel. You name one industry and they are using that. See, when we talk about data science, we are into R and Python. When we talk about big data, we cannot leave Hadoop, we cannot leave MongoDB, we cannot leave NoSQL. See the salaries that are being provided for these big data people. So now that video was a very well informative source that help you the difference. Let's discuss it. So the thing is that we need to specify the difference between analysis, analytics, business intelligence, and business data. Because when we are working on the data, what actually we are doing with the data? Are we analyzing it? Are we analytics being done onto them? Is it a part of a business intelligence? Let's see. What was analysis? As I told you, the big data phase 1.0 was more of your cleansing of the data, transforming the data, and it was more into the phase of specification of data analysis. So the primary purpose of data analysis is to review the existing data in order to describe patterns that has happened in the past. So analysis were more towards the pattern building on the data into and it was more of the specification of the past data analysis. It is therefore also frequently referred to be as a descriptive data analysis. So your analysis when done in a descriptive form was more of data analysis. Now see, for example, we need to specify the patterns of a sales. Now for example, the July, August, September, October. So this kind of any kind of a graph shows you the picture of a descriptive analysis, a sales report. So it is more of your data analysis being done. Now comes analytics. Analytics is the discovery, interpretation, and obviously finding meaningful patterns, but this meaningful patterns combined with statistics, combined with mathematics, combined with machine learning, combined with predictive modeling, combined with data mining, cognitive computing, artificial intelligence. That's the most important specification of data being used in this analytics form. So when we talk of more of refining of your data, then this refinement combined with your machine learning, your cognitive analysis, your artificial intelligence is data analytics. Then there are 4 categories of data analytics which are very important. As I told you, when descriptive data being specified, when description was being done, it was more of analysis. So the descriptive analytics or descriptive analytics are the bottom of the big data value chain, but they can be valuable for uncovering the patterns and getting the insights of the data. The second most important is the diagnostic analytics. Now the diagnostic analytics provide valuable insights for organization because it helps them understand the decision, not only the specific nature, the future decision. The future decisions are now based on the diagnostic analytics being done. Then your predictive analysis, very, very important part. Why? Because when we talk about any healthcare organization, this is a very important scenario, because predictive analysis use big data to identify past patterns to predict the future. Very important. For example, some companies are using predictive analysis for scales, upcoming sales lead. Then you have number of forecasts being done, whether it's a market forecast. And nowadays, this predictive analysis is also being utilized for forecasting number of specification related to the current pandemic. And another important is a prescriptive analysis, is the last and most valuable form of analytics. While big data analytics generally specify the subject, the prescriptive analysis give you a laser-like focus to answer specific question. When we are talking about laser-like, means the dot details. For example, in the healthcare industry, you can better manage the patient population by using prescriptive analytics, because we are specifying a person who is suffering from diabetes, and then they have the cholesterol levels. Then we need to specify the focus of the treatment. The focus of the treatment will be on its diabetes or on its cholesterol level, is more refined being done, laser jet specification. That means your prescriptive analysis. See this picture. So in a layman, if a layman wants to understand these four things, what happened is descriptive, means what has happened. Why did it happen is diagnostic. Very important. When something has already happened and we are analysis being done on it, then is what happened. That means you're descriptive. Why did it happen? That is done by using the diagnostic. Then what will happen? This is done by using the predictive analysis. And how can we make it happen is done by prescriptive. So when you talk about any layman being studying these all type of analytics, then what, why, what will happen, and how can we make it happen is the journey of the big analytics being done. So they are increasing the reliability on the data, because from the specification of what has happened, from the movement to why did that happen, from the movement to what will happen, we can get the specification. How can we make it happen? And how can we make it happen is the core specification of prescriptive analytics. So when we talk about any kind of data analytics being done, it supports the decision for the past data, for the predictive, prescriptive analytics. And also you can check the Google Analytics that organization used to predict website traffic and the optimize online advancement. So that means you are not only on the phase of predicting the future, but you are also into the phase of how can we make that future more better. Now, this is a very important term utilized in the current business industry, that is business intelligence. When we talk about business intelligence, this came into the picture because now we want that predicting these trends can be done by using intelligent behavior. So the key challenge with the business intelligence is to consolidate the different enterprise information, the data sources into a single integrated warehouse on which an analysis or analytics operation can be done. An example of business intelligence would be to build a dashboard. So I can tell you, when we are talking about Tableau, we'll be seeing how the dashboard is being built, and that dashboard helps us to draw some conclusions, and those conclusions will be very fruitful in any kind of intelligent behavior to be predicted. So when we talk about structure of business intelligence, we are getting so many of finance data, CRM data, operation data. And when we are going into the phase of extract, transform, and load, so what we are doing, we are taking into the advantage of data warehouse. Then we have the online, we have the specification of analytical processing. We have the reporting engines being utilized. So we have so many things being utilized in this particular scenario, and then we are building a model, a business intelligence framework in this particular scenario. Then when we talk about this big data can be structured, can be semi-structured. So we are utilizing this big data in order to generate our business intelligence model. And that business intelligence model is utilizing very refined version of this big data. Now, very important specification and very important layout of big data is big data visualization. This big data visualization will be going to make a difference, because as John Turkey said, a celebrated mathematician, the greatest value of a picture is when it forces us to notice what we never expected to see. This is the roadmap of your visualization, that from the data we can get a picture that we never assumed to see. So you will be seeing that what Tableau offers, or what various visualization tools offer, are the things you never assumed that they will be into the understanding. So what does visualization? Visualization allows business users to look beyond the individual data records and easily identify dependencies and correlations in the hidden data. Many a times when we are seeing the table of the data, we cannot get the relationship and the dependencies of those data, but visualization will help us to extract those dependencies. See, for example, this is an example of industrial data. Now, when we are seeing this industrial data in terms of a visualization aspect, we are getting into the specification that there are pumps, there are combustors, there are engines, there are piping assemblies. So this is giving a more of attractive visualization for our eye. For example, this analysis of social comments. So what can be these social comments? They can be the comments based on customers. They can be good, horrible. So this picture, reading from a table, reading from a text is more of a cumbersome task rather than visualizing effects being seen. So see, this is a customer behavior analytics from July to August to September, October, November, December, January, and February. So you are getting the knowing that there's a gloves brand, you are knowing that there's a time period, and you are going into the journey. You are sailing into the boat. It's very important. Unless and until you sail into the boat of the data, you will not able to get a refined model being developed. Then see, you have legends. Legends also, symbol maps are being used. Easily by you seeing the dots, we can specify that the number of customers. We don't have to go to the inside. Small dot means 10,000. A very big dot means 1 lakh. So see, there's the variations of the visualization information being provided to us. Then this is a line graph. These all graphs I am telling you because in the further sections, Tableau will give you the insights of all these graphs. So the line graphs gives you the impression of the total applications, the total applications on clicks, and we have these events being specified in various types of months. Now, these are the pie charts. Pie charts are giving you more specific analytics of the customers in terms of satisfied traditionals, in terms of struggling techies, in terms of opportunities. So we are getting a more refined picture in terms of your pie charts. Then we have the bar charts. We also have the bar charts information, which is more of understandable in terms of traffic sources, whether we have the direct, whether we have the searching, whether we have the social media or the other. So but just looking at the picture, standing in 1 minute, you can give your report. So these are the visualization effects of data visualization that makes your information more and more of relatable. Then you have the heat maps. These are more of use in mechanical engineering, where you have a picture which helps you identify the various specification of sales of heat maps of a sales floor. So this is also a very interesting category that helps us to visualize your information. Now, the thing is that how to make or how to avoid the mistakes related to big data visualization. Number one is, the thing is that the main purpose of data visualization is to provide users with the insight. We need to find out which is the visualization tool that will help in your application. You can have number of, whether it's your Microsoft BI, with your Tableau, ClickView, Sisense, any a tool that you can use. And the most important things of these tools is they give you around 14 days, 1 month trial version. So when you use the trial version, you get into the information whether paying to them will serve your purpose or not. I think so there's something in the chat box. Okay, no issues. Then the thing is that if you feel you need any assistance, the big data visualization will help you to get that assistance. Now the thing is that what the big data tools are offering you. Why it is important that big data choosing a correct tool is that your choosing of the correct tool will help you to get a correct picture analysis. That's why when we are talking about you choose a tool, we get a trial version, and that trial version help us to get into the picture whether using it in future, whether paying for it will serve our purpose or not. So when we talk about big data tools, you have the X1 Plenty. That is also the first tool that you can use it. The thing is that when you talk about the pros and cons of it, it is more of usage being done for information transformation, language expression, and it is more flexible. But when we talk about its cons, the annual billing option is available, so it doesn't allow you for the monthly subscription. So that is an issue, because you have to pay it for the annual subscription. But the advantage is that it gives you a support, as in 100+ data sources is available in it. You have the SaaS, on-prem, CRM, and it also provides you lot of information of internal data integration. Then Hadoop is the most important. When we talk about Apache Hadoop, it is used whether we are talking about Amazon is using it, whether talk about Microsoft, Facebook, all are using it. And the most important, the pros of Hadoop is that it has the ability to hold any type of data, because in big data we have structured, semi-structured, video, images, XML. So for R&D and research and development purposes, it is very helpful. The sum of the cons that Hadoop has, it's due to some disk space issues, some redundancy issues, but still Hadoop is considered to be the most valuable big data tool. Then we have the Cloudera. Cloudera is also providing good services, and the importance is that it's totally open source and has a free platform distribution along with Apache.
Hello.
Apache. Yes, sir.
Ma'am, Microsoft use which tool, ma'am? Microsoft use which tool, ma'am?
Sir, Microsoft
For visualization. Microsoft uses which tool, ma'am? Which we can use?
All these tools I am telling you are open source, and they can be easily used in any picture.
Okay.
So the thing
for
is
Microsoft,
that so Microsoft also we can. You are talking about what Microsoft?
Microsoft tool you told me, ma'am. AWS.
No, sir, not. Sir, which one? I'm not getting your question.
Ma'am, you told Microsoft uses data visualization tool. You told no, ma'am.
Some data visualization tools, when we are talking about when we talk about Tableau, when we talk about your business intelligence tools, these are all being used by any of the company. It is not something specific. But the thing is that Tableau is still not supported in your Ubuntu, but Ubuntu, when we are using it, we can go with the online Tableau. There's an option of online Tableau for which you can use it. Okay, then we go towards the Cloudera. In the Cloudera, we are specifying that the cons of the Cloudera is that it is a little bit, installation is little bit difficult and confusing, but licensing price on a per node base is also very expensive. So when we talk about $1,000 to $2,000 per terabyte, so Cloudera becomes expensive for users to be utilized. Then we have the Cassandra. Cassandra tool is used by Accenture, American Express, Facebook, Honeywell. They are using this tool, and this tool uses the NoSQL DBMS. So when we talk about SQL to NoSQL SQL transformation, the in-memory caching of NoSQL is very much effective as compared to your NoSQL has a very effective in-memory caching when compared to your SQL. The cons of Cassandra is other thing is that there's some issues of troubleshooting and maintenance, but the tool is free. So you can use Cassandra as a free tool for developing of your any kind of a big data environment. Then KNIME, NIME is also a very important tool, and it is used for text mining, analytics. Then we have the Linux, it also supports operating systems, it supports. So when we talk about companies using it, we have the Johnson & Johnson, we have the Comcast, they all are using NIME platform. And the advantage is NIME platform is free. However, they have some commercial products which need to be paid. So you can use this NIME platform also. Then we have the Data Wrapper. Data Wrapper is another tool that are used with Twitter. It is used with Fortune and other companies also. And the pricing, when we talk about, you can use as a free service for some days. Then you have occasional use, you can pay 10K. Then you have a daily use, $29 per month, and so on. So these are the things which are to be utilized only according to your demand. Then we have the MongoDB. We have heard, and many of our students use the MongoDB because the advantage is that it has written in C, C++, and JavaScript. So more of the students are connected with this is a NoSQL environment. And advantage is that it is very easy to learn, but for certain use cases, it can be little bit slow. But the thing is that MongoDB's enterprise versions are paid, and its pricing is available on request. So when you request that, then your pricing is available. Also, we have the Lumify. Lumify is again used for visualization also, analytics also, 2D and 3D graphic visualization, but this tool is free. So you can freely search and use it. Then we have the HPCC, stands for High Performance Computing Cluster. The advantage again is that it is written with in C++, and it has a ECL, that is Enterprise Control Language, being utilized, and a Thor architecture is used, and it supports pipelining and parallelism. The architecture is very high performance. Still, the advantage is that the tool is also free, so you can use it. Again, you have the Apache Storm. Apache Storm is still used by Alibaba, Yahoo, and the advantage is that it has the basis of Java. So when it has a basis of Java, it has more connectivity to the people. The thing is that it can cause some issues of debugging also, but still the tool is free, so you can have a check on this tool also. Then we have the Apache Samoa, and it also used for online analysis. Machine learning capabilities are also embedded into it, and the thing is that this is free, so you can have a play of the tool and code with this tool. Then we have Talend. Talend is also supported connectors of Hadoop and NoSQL. The advantage Talend is providing is that you have giving it with multiple data sources. Multiple data sources are available into it. The cons is that difficult to add a custom component to the palette, and the interface is little more, because as users who are learning something, you require an interface which is interactive, and you require an interface which is more connected. So there's an issue with Talend, but still it is freely available, so you can have a go on it also. RapidMiner is also utilized by a number of students, and the organization like Hitachi, Samsung, Airbus are all using it. The advantage is that it has a good GUI and open source Java core it is being using, so it is still being more connected to people. The pricing is starts from $2.5, and the thing is that again it can be yearly and monthly depending upon your usage. Then we have the Qbol. Qbol is also a transformation of the big data being done by using the Qbol analysis. The thing is that when we talk about its advantages, it has flexibility, it has easy to use, but pricing is all specified, like it is free of cost for 5 users. Then its pricing start for $199 and per month, and so on. So this is very much specific depending upon the model you want to win, depending upon the analytics you want to do. And the most important, why the most important? Because our FDP is dealing with it, Tableau. Tableau is a visualization tool. Tableau is a kind of analytics tool. And the advantage that Tableau gives you, number one, a drag and drop. Number two, you don't need a lot of any of a coding environment to learn Tableau. Initially, when you go for Tableau, I'll be showing you in session number 2 and 3, you will be seeing like it is like an installation on click, click, click. When you have an installation on click, 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 you say it is easy. When you have an installation in which you have to do some coding, then you say, okay, no, I'll not go with this product. So the most important and also easy platform giving you very insight results. That is also very important. A very good interface and giving you very effective results. And the most important thing is that Tableau give you a 14 days trial version. Student, if you are a student, bona fide information, you can give you a 1 year free version. That is started in this COVID-19 pandemic. 1 year free you can access, and you can learn so many insights into the Tableau. But still, when you want to work on it professionally, then you need to have 35 USD per month, 70 USD per month, and so on. That is very specific to the work you are doing. So I'll be providing you the links where you can download Tableau. I'll be providing you the information where Tableau data set can also be downloaded, and you can effectively play with the data that has been provided to you. R is also very much connected tool, and the advantages of R is that it is more of connectivity with C, Fortran, and R programming languages. So when you use with it, more of mathematics and statisticians and people working in management who want to get analysis, they prefer R as more. And the advantage of R is that the ecosystem that is provided is more of a analysis background, whereas Tableau provides more of a visualization background. So when people go for more of better visualization effect, they go with Tableau, but more of statistical information, they go with R. But I think the Tableau is a complete package which is providing all the features of R, and R is more of a programming layout, but Tableau is more of a drag and drop layout. So people find it more easier to work on Tableau. Now, when we talk about data visualization paradigm, Tableau falls into the picture as the #1 tool because it is easy to use. It has fast analytics. It has updates being done very frequently. I told you that the COVID-19 tracker is already built by Tableau, and I'll give you the links where you can directly download that COVID-19 database, and you can see how many good analytics we can build onto that. And that is helpful only due to the smart dashboard that is provided by Tableau. And there is a very heavy competitor of Tableau, ClickView. As Tableau goes into some changes, ClickView at that time goes into its changes. So the thing is that when Tableau developed, ClickView didn't have so much good interface. But now what had ClickView done? ClickView has built his interface on the basis of the Tableau interface. So people are now preferring ClickView because it has built an interface based on Tableau. But the thing is that Tableau database or Tableau interface is much more interactive. But ClickView is also one of the preferred visualization tool, because the same thing is that it has guided analytics, it has integration of many data sets, and also many type of, even we say if we have a PDF, if we have a XML data, any kind of a data, it can provide you some relationships and some insights for that particular data. Then we have the chart blocks tool that is also utilized, but since the Tableau has come into the picture, these tools have reduced their business. Also Power BI was considered to be
Can
one
you
of
share the link
most,
for Tableau download, ma'am?
Yes, sir, I'll be sharing.
Okay.
It is coming in the next versions only. Okay, so Power BI is also being utilized, but Power BI has lost its importance due to the more of utilization of Tableau. But if you want to know that, if you want, raw is also one of the tools. But as I told you, as a Tableau picture came, these tools have taken a backside. Now, if you are saying that you want to become a developer for data visualization, then people go more towards Google Charts. They go more towards Fusion Charts. They go more towards Ember Charts. But if you are learning stage, I don't tell you to go for these. These are the tools which can be utilized once you have knowledge of the audience tools. Audience tools are tools which are more of a basic interface being specified. So for the basic interface, for the basic knowledge, for the playing of the data, go with the audience tool. But if you say that you want to build your career, or when you want to go more of a developing environment, then you can go with these visualization tools, whether it's a Fusion Charts, whether your Ember Charts, your data driven document. This is also a good developing tool that is using a JavaScript, and one of the most utilized is also the chartist.js, because it is using the CSS. So since it is using a CSS form of visualization, so it is more of interactive in nature. So this is a very important roadmap I want to show you, because people normally get confused. What are you going for? Are you going for big data? Are you going for analytics? Are you going for visualization? Are you going for ingestion? Are you going for data science? But I tell you, they are all the journey. They are all the roadmap, because you can see, when you have the statistics, once you have the programming, you have the machine learning, you have the visualization, you have the big data, you have the ingestion, you have so many things. So your journey of data science is a combination of all these things. So you cannot say that you can miss one of the things. You cannot say that I am working on the field of big data. If you are working on the big field of big data, you must have knowledge of some machine learning concepts also. If you are working on the field of deep learning, you are coming from the base of machine learning and artificial intelligence. If you are saying I am a data science expert, if you are a data science expert and you say you have no knowledge of big data, you have no knowledge of visualization, then you cannot support your word. So remember that all these things is a roadmap, is a journey. You cannot say that one thing can be left on and another thing can be connected. Very important specifications for a big data analysis point of view. I'll be sharing the Tableau link, although it was being specified in my next session, but I'll be sharing that link so you can download Tableau, and it will give you an automatically 14 days trial version. So when we are going towards the PPT journey, you directly go with the hands-on, because I'll be taking you to the hands-on of the Tableau in the third session. But what can you can do? You can just download that link. You can download the various databases, even the COVID-19 database also you can download, and we'll see how effectively it can be utilized to build the dashboards and the journeys. These are some of the references of the big data study, the research analytics. I'll be sharing with the organizers, and they'll be sharing to the participants. So these are some very effective papers that help you in the research analysis. So I'll be sharing these things with you all. So this was end of my first session. In the second session, we'll be having the insight of your big data in terms of visualization. And in the third session, we'll be going with the hands-on with Tableau. I'll just share you with the various links on of the Tableau in the chat box.
On introduction to various tools and
Sir,
data
I am not able
visualization
to
tools
hear you.
for discovery
Hello.
of information. Hello, ma'am.
Hello. Yes, sir.
Ma'am, thank you so much,
Yes,
ma'am,
sir.
for your thought-provoking session.
Thank you, sir.
Now it's a query session. Participants from queries, please unmute yourself and ask.
I'll be, sir, sharing some information regarding the Tableau download also. Although that was my part of the second session, but still I'll be sharing it now also, because in some time participants can just download it also.
Ma'am, please share the link which is where the Tableau is available for 1 year also, because I have already finished with the 14 days trial version.
So, ma'am, that is very much student specific. I'll be sharing that, but they require a correct proof that if you are a student, then they'll be giving you. I'll be sharing that, ma'am, also.
So if we are going to log in with our institute email ID, then it will be available, no, madam?
Ma'am, it is very specific that you should be a student, not with institution.
Okay,
I'll
okay,
share you
madam.
that link also, ma'am.
Thank you,
They
thank you.
want a complete proof that you are a student. I'll be
Okay,
sharing you, ma'am, the link.
okay, okay. Thank you.
Welcome, ma'am.
Any other queries from the participants? It's fine. Then. Once again, thank you so much, ma'am, for the interesting session.
Sir, I'm just sharing that link. Just a sec. I'm sharing that link for Tableau download. So by the time we have 10 or 15 minutes break, they can download that. I'm sharing it.
Shirin, ma'am?
Yes, sir. Sir, I have just shared that.
Okay.
This is the link for the more of the database I'll be sharing in the next session, the database links. And also, ma'am, I'll be sharing that link of your student one also.
Shirin, ma'am?
Sir, I'm not able to hear you.
Ma'am, is it audible?
Can you share that in WhatsApp
Hello.
group? Hello. Can you share that in WhatsApp? Download and feedback also. Can you share that tablet download as well as on WhatsApp?
Hello. Participants, the Tableau link download will be shared in the WhatsApp group.
Hello.
Dear participants, hello.
Yes, sir. I have a question.
Yeah, please ask.
Ma'am, who do you
Shirin,
tell?
ma'am?
Ma'am, who do you tell about SAS program?
Uh,
Shirin, ma'am?
yes, sir. Just checking my internet. I'm just responding. 2 minutes.
Okay, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Dear
I'm audible.
participants, in the meantime,
Hello. Hello, sir.
yes,
Am I
ma'am, we are
audible?
audible. Yes.
This thing sir was asking regarding SAS programming, actually SAS is more of related with the machine learning specification, since the FDP was more towards your visualization. So I can tell the organizers, maybe in the upcoming session of the third one, we can add a session of the SAS programming also. So we can have some hands-on with that.
Okay, ma'am.
because it requires full 1-day specification with complete SAS structure.
Okay, ma'am.
So any other questions?
It's fine then. Much for online introduction to these visualization tools and big data analytic tools for discovering hidden information. Thank you so much, ma'am.
So I think there's a question from Brajesh sir. Sir, there is no limit. Still we were talking about that we were dealing with trillion. As I told you, the volume is continuously growing up. And that's why we have gone into the picture of when we talk about your specification dealing with visualization, we have gone into that. Why we have gone into visualization? Because the thing is that the volume of the big data has still no limit. There is an unlimited flow of volume, because since we are dealing with more of each and every one has a data in its hands. If you talk about your mobile phone, it's itself a huge volume of big data. So still we can specify that there is no limitation, but there is limitation with the tools that you are using. As I told you, Hadoop has some limitation with the data that it can hold, but still it is the most called as an affordable or most trusted platform for big data analysis being done, but it has its limitations with the data and volume it can store. This is totally, sir, dependent on the tool you are using. Each tool has its licensing version. So when you pay for them, they give you more expansion of the data. When you are working on trial version, you get less volume of data.
Any
Yes, sir.
questions,
Surely I will be
participants?
sharing the PPT, Brajesh, sir. Surely I'll be sharing.
Any questions, participants?
Sir,
Ma'am,
I
I
have a
think.
question. I have a question.
Yes, sir. Please. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Please.
Tableau which you downloaded should be 14 days trial, right?
Yes, sir.
If you want to extend that, how it will happen? You have
So
to
for
purchase them.
extending, I told you, yes, sir, you can purchase it. In the next session, I'll be giving you the monthly and all purchasing details of that also. Actually, you have to deal with me in the upcoming sessions also. So I have
Okay.
lots of data at my back end in my second session. So we'll be
Okay.
exploring about Tableau in the second session in terms of its pricing, in terms of its limited versions, in terms of its student version. So that I'll be giving you insight in the second session.
Okay. If we have a yearly session, that will be useful, right?
Yes, sir.
Yearly.
Yes, we have the yearly pricing, we have the monthly pricing,
Okay.
and our college has purchased that too also. So
Okay.
in our college, it has a licensing version also of yearly,
Oh,
and
in
it
the
is much
second
more
session, you
cost
are going
effective.
to talk about Tableau and ClickView also? Only Tableau?
No, sir, not ClickView, Tableau.
Okay.